right. Hey, guys and girls and everybody else who might be listening, welcome to Mitch and Mike and the voiceover journey. And along with Mitch and Mike, we have another Mike, the esteemed Mike Cunningham.
Hey,
is this our voiceover actor?
Is this our second Mike?
I think so. Yeah. We've never had another Mitch, so this is the first doppelganger name thing we've had. So Mitch is going to be like...
I wouldn't have shown up otherwise. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
So Mitch is going to have to say, OG Mike and new Mike. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll just replace you, Mike.
Yeah, hey, if I ever die, Cunningham will just step right in. And you don't even have to change the name of the podcast. So
yeah, you're way nicer than I am, though. So
yeah. That could be a different podcast for sure.
Yeah. Hey, we've joked about Mitch killing me off before. So, but hey, Mike, good to have you. Thanks for joining the show. Mike's been a friend for a while, and finally, we're able to get him on. We had a scheduling snafu. I don't know, a couple months ago. And couldn't make it work, and that was my fault. A day job thing.
It has been crazy trying to get days and things put together.
Yeah.
I'm glad we get together. This is nice.
Yeah.
You're here.
Yes,
we
finally
did
here.
it.
We finally here. We got Mike on the show. All right,
That's
so Mike,
exciting.
hey, so that the listeners know a little bit more about you, as we do. We like to get to know you and what makes Mike tick and where Mike got his start. And so, as with everybody, something prompted you to get into voiceover. For a lot of us, we've always been extroverts and creators and performers on stage and whatever else. And it just kind of morphed into acting behind the mic. But everybody's got a different story. So why don't you kind of tell us how you got your start?
I think the long and short of it is like a COVID-induced midlife crisis. Mm-hmm. But no, honestly, I went to I went to high school. I did one play or something like that in high school. I never really had any like real acting training, and I decided that after doing some AV stuff in high school, I wanted to go do radio TV. So I enrolled in the local community college because I was like, well, I guess that's what I'll do. And I didn't go to class, and then I ended up having to drop out. So I went to the military. I worked on nuclear weapons in the Air Force. Ooh. I did that for a while. 9/11 happened when that was going on. I am old. And
you're in the club.
Yeah. And so it...
See, Mitch, 9/11 is this thing that happened a while back.
It was a very scary thing that, no, it was not great.
I was in high school during lunch.
I like to make Mitch feel bad about how young he is, which is kind of weird. But go ahead.
Well, that's how we get by, right? I got out. I realized that I was about qualified enough to be a waiter or a busboy, which is what ended up happening as a veteran when I got out. Mm-hmm. And, luckily met my lovely wife, and she decided to tell me to get my act together.
Hey.
That seems to happen, eh?
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you, Mike's wife.
That's how that goes for a lot of us, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do, so I figured I needed to find a job that was going to be, stable. Like I needed a stable job and have a house and all that other stuff. So I went into IT, went through all that. GI Bill was fantastic. I came out of that. I actually have an MBA. Been an IT guy for a pretty long time now.
He's an educated man.
Something like that. And you do that for so long, and you're like, this is my life now. I'm a guy that people call and bother about their computers for the rest of my life, and at some point that stops being so appealing, I think, for a lot of us. I've always kind of sounded like the radio guy, and people. That's why I was originally going to go into a radio, and my friend pointed out some program to me over COVID. I said, you know what? Why not?
What
else
program?
am I going to do? Maybe we'll die of a virus here. Why not? Let's just do it.
Yeah.
And then I became obsessed. And here we are. A little over 3 years later,
What program did you get involved in?
I did Such a Voice. I actually met my first...
that's where you met Tim.
That's where I met Tim Powers, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
Mitch. Mike is one of the Tim Powers disciples.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell.
Yeah.
You guys running a tight crew. It's like
it's like
seeing a biker gang come down the road. It's like, shit, I hope they don't hurt me, I hope they might make fun of my pants or something.
If you're only listening to this, Cunningham definitely has that rough and tumble biker look with the big beard.
We're
and
trying that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little too big right now. I gotta
Is
get
this
that
new
clipped
for
up.
you?
This? No. I've had a beard for a while.
That's
It's
what I
just
thought.
really, it's larger than it had been in a while. I need to trim it back.
Yeah.
It's getting out of control.
Tickles your belly button. Got it.
A little bit. I can throw it over my shoulders. It like blows in the breeze, which that's where I know when I'm like, if I'm outside and I can
When it
feel
starts
it
to
like
move
flowing in
with
the
the
wind.
wind.
That's all right.
I had I did a when my beard was longer. I did one of those indoor skydiving things where you're in the tunnel.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Pictures are
Those
fantastic
are so fun.
because you can't see the lower half of my face because the beard is up into my eyes.
Yep. It gets a little unruly. I have a good product to kind of try and keep it in line, but it's anyway. We're going to talk about our beards. This
let's
is a beard
do it.
podcast.
Okay.
No.
Hey,
All right,
we're all
guys.
beard
cast.
people.
All right,
Beard-
everybody.
Yeah.
VO's over. It's time to talk
Bearded
about
guys
beard
rule.
products. But yeah, no, I worked with Tim to start, and he was thankfully I worked with Tim to start. I think that's one of the things I learned out of this, getting going, is that the people that you meet right away, the coaches that you get, or the people that influence you, have a massive impact on the trajectory you're going to take with all of this. Because if you don't have a good coach that's realistic and honest with you and drives you to be better, as opposed to just phoning it in to take your money, it is a huge driving factor. Yeah.
Right. And it's hard to know when to pivot if someone is doing that to you.
Yes.
You might not even know it.
You don't even know any better. I think I went into this, I was 40 years old, right? And I'm thinking, I'll figure this out. I was very skeptical of Tim. I was like, I'm gonna watch these guys because these are all actors, and actors are liars and stuff. I was like,
Oh, wow.
and
That's an interesting way to get it.
yeah, well,
Very cynical.
I was super cynical about it. It took
Yeah.
a while to for Tim to kind of break through that, and I, like I said, I was very fortunate, because if it wasn't Tim, if he didn't have that kind of patience, and didn't see whatever he saw in me, I wouldn't still be doing this. And I think that might be the case for a bunch of the people that worked with him. So it's I owe a lot to him. And so
like Mitch said, I mean, it's a tight group, the mic droppers, as Tim calls them, and you'll be hard pressed to find someone that has a bad word to say about Tim Powers. So, rock on. Tim's a buddy. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I mean, I got the one voice, didn't know a doggone soul except for our buddy Gunner. And Tim was one of the people that was just like, hey, you're with my crew. And rolled with him and had a great time and made a lot of great friends in the industry because of it. So, including you in a roundabout way.
yes, sir.
Yeah. So, one of the things that, and I love about you, Mike, is, I sound like every other old white guy, right? I find it hard to be distinctive in the auditions that I do for commercials and other things. You have such a distinctive voice. You've got that low gruff that I think is very, it fits a lot of genres that people are looking for. In video games, and I know you've had some success in the video games and stuff like that. So why don't you talk about...
I actually I've not had as much success in commercials as have had in video games and character stuff in general. I don't ever, I understand I sound like me, but I don't ever really think about that. It's not something I ever through my life. Well, I have such a distinctive voice, and that's whatever. Like I don't ever think about it, right? So when people are like, "Well, you don't sound like everybody else," I don't understand what that necessarily means.
Right.
But I get it. Like, okay, all right, it's a quantity of something. For video games, it has worked really well because it's really hard to find somebody who can do a deep growl but still be like, people don't understand what people are saying, or you got to try it real hard.
Yeah.
It's fortunate in a way, and it covers up for maybe some of my lack of acting chops in some regards, but I feel like there's a lot of people that sound a particular way, have a unique voice, have a unique aspect for them, but it's only just a very small part of it. It's a lot about the effort and mostly about the acting, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
being playful.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's very few people that can get by on just the quality of their voice. There's got to be something behind that. And, which, again, I mean, kudos to you. You do have, in spite of you kind of being a late bloomer as far as the acting thing is. you do well. You've done some pretty high quality video games, and I don't know. You can go ahead and give a shout out to some of the things you've been involved in.
Oh gosh, yeah. What there's Kong Survivor Instinct. That was a dream come true for me, because I know that game is very interesting, because it's like a 2D side scroller kind of thing. So it's made to be a little bit cheesy, and people are very, very, very serious about King Kong and Godzilla. I know I am, for one, because I loved it, because I'm a huge fan of the franchise. But the way that the game's set up is kind of like, it's a little ridiculous, and so it sounds a little ridiculous, and but it's so much fun. Just the amount of times that I died making that game, screaming. I remember I was in here. I did it right here in this booth, and my wife was recording, because I was full send. Just every ounce of me I have, like, dying. And she's recording me from the other side of the basement, just like, this is my life now. And 20 seconds of me just
the things our
screaming,
wives
burning alive.
Put up with now, yeah.
We did I did a thing recently with it's called Rogue Waters, which is a roguelike game. And I did
the pirate game?
Yeah, a pirate game. I did that with our friends Larry Oblander and Terry and Kat.
Yeah.
Really,
all of
really,
whom
really
have been on the
game.
show. Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Kat is phenomenal in that game.
Yeah.
Really fun and very, very hard. That game is extraordinary. I mean, you're meant to die over and over, and I'm not that patient, because I don't have a whole lot of time. So I'm playing this. I'm like, son of a gun. God, come on.
I'm tired of hearing myself die.
Oh my God, I died so many times.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, that's not an experience I've ever had before, is playing a game as me, and
So
having to
Right.
hear myself do things. Yeah, that must be pretty interesting, but still also pretty satisfying. Yeah.
It is. I think that was the goal that I originally set out. When I was talking to Tim, he was like, well, what do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish out of all this? And, you think about, what is the end goal for me here? Well, I want to play as me on a video game. And I'm like, that's 5-10 years out. That's not even possible. That's not going to happen. And then here we are. I was like 2 years in, and now here I am. Here's a game that's on Xbox. And I can go on PlayStation right now and download it. And I'm like, whoa. This happened fast. Like, that doesn't happen for a lot of people. And so it's kind of weird to take stock of it. Like, where do I go from here? Like, what's next? How do I get
You did the thing. Yeah.
I did the thing that I wanted to do.
I got my
Now
goal
what do
too
I do?
quickly. Now what?
Right.
Well, now, Mike, you just create another goal.
Yeah.
What's the next goal?
Next goal is I want to be in a AAA game. I want to be the lead character in a AAA game.
Oh.
I want to be like Master Chief or something like that. I want that role where you're like, oh, that's the guy from the thing.
The iconic,
Yeah.
Right.
iconic game, iconic role.
I could see you in what is this, Gears of War 12 or whatever the hell.
Oh,
I don't know
man.
what one they're on now,
Yeah.
but I could hear you in
Something
Gears.
like that.
I can
Yeah.
definitely see you in a first-person shooter.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm in a few like third person ones. I did like all the mission briefings for Gates of Hell, one of the recent expansion for Gates of Hell. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. It's like an RTS where you can play as first and third person or from the top. It's really interesting, but it's all about World War II. This was for their airborne expansion.
That's fun.
Do a lot of efforts and stuff in there. I have a mobile game recently that I did a lot of efforts for too. The title is escaping me off the top of my head, but they're fun. It is really fun.
So-
that kind of stuff.
Tell me, you mentioned efforts, right? And that's something that obviously you have to be good at in doing a video game. How and I mean, I'm assuming Tim helped with that, but I mean, what gets you prepared for that? Because I've done a few things, taken a couple of things where I've done efforts and workouts and things like that, but I know I'm not really well versed at it. What gets you to the point where you feel like you're pretty good at doing those grunts and those running sounds and all of that?
I think it has a lot to do with your voice naturally. And I know people don't want to say that kind of stuff because everybody's like, well, you can do whatever. I'm really loud. Like I'm really, really excessively loud. And I don't mean to be, I just am. And so my vocal cords are used to that. like just heavy exertion all the time for forever, to the point where I don't really get it. It takes a whole lot to fatigue me. So if I'm yelling like a whole lot, it doesn't really do a lot to me. For a lot of folks, you need to make sure that you're extremely hydrated. You have to kind of warm up your vocal cords before you do it. You can't just jump into that kind of stuff, because then you will. It's like any other muscle. If you don't stretch, you're gonna be in trouble. I try to get into it so that when you're doing any of these kind of things, you're not trying to overcompensate for what you think is supposed to be happening by making yourself louder or just like a different exertion in your voice for your pitch variation. Like, I actually do the thing. So like, I'm in here like chopping with like I'm doing it, and by making that natural motion, it helps a little bit by making it more natural for you, but also you're not forcing yourself into something you would never normally do, right? It's hard to say, that there's a blanket, this is how you do it kind of thing for people, because everybody's different. Everybody's got a different vocal profile. Everybody's able to do stuff. For me, if I'm dying, I literally will punch myself if I get hurt, or like I like, when I say full sending it, they're like, okay, well, you're going to choke on for Kong. They're like, we need you to choke on gas and whatever. I literally was choking myself and like drinking water and gurgling and all kinds of stuff like that, because I wanted to make it sound real, and that was the way to make it, because I want to sound like I'm choking and I'm drowning in my own spit. That's what's going to happen here,
The Daniel Day-Lewis of voice acting. Like
method voice acting.
Oh, you want it to sound like blood? Let me get some blood real quick.
Yeah. Want me to sound like I'm gouging my eye out? All right, let me get a ice pick.
A nice spoon or something.
I try not to hurt. Obviously I'm not trying to hurt myself, but I'll sock myself in the stomach if it's like, one of those kind of things. You get a more. It comes out of you as opposed to you manufacturing it.
Yeah, and I've heard that with the props and things. You're not the only person I've seen that does that with props.
There's several. I got a sword. What else we got? I got a gun.
Bullet, gun.
What's it? What?
You got a permit for that?
Gun.
Oh yeah.
So what's so fun and interesting, you've been on this path, I think a little less than Mike and I, but you're in this like wonderful realm of creating the things you wanted to create from the start, and you've done it. And so some of the stuff you've done, Mike and I were like, hell yeah, we'd love to do that. We got, if we were cattle, we have been pushed into the realm of commercial a little harder by our coaches and by the way we think, or whatever it is. You obviously took the ball and ran straight into character acting, video game acting, and you said maybe you don't think your voice is cut out for commercial. It's great, I love it.
It's not that it's not cut out for it. I just don't have as much success in that realm, and that's the time.
Okay,
takes time.
But that's just kind of where your vision went, and you went to the thing that obviously you're great at. You're getting hired for. Yeah. How do you keep your eyes on the prize? How do you see other people getting big money from commercials early on, or maybe someone says, hey, what about audiobooks? How do you keep your eyes on the prize and get there?
I'm not, how do I explain it? I'm not doing it for money. I'm doing it for pride. I want to do it because I want to be successful at this. And I have a day job that pays for me to live. I don't have to do this for money yet. Would I like to do it for money? Hell yeah. I mean, of course, we all want to do it for money. Yeah. And a lot of people push people, I think, towards commercial. And me, listen, I'm taking commercial workshops. I'm doing commercial demos, all those other things. I audition for commercials every single day. But people get pushed that way because that's where the money is. I mean, obviously, you can do video games, and if you're lucky, you get the standard non-union $250 an hour rate, which is awesome. Yeah. But you're also working a lot more than you would for maybe an hour in a commercial where you're making $5,000, right? So it's not about the money so much as it is about I actually really love doing it. I really want to be good at this, and I think one of the interesting things that oddly enough Tim told me early on was that the industry's going to tell you where you belong. and the industry told me pretty early on you would be good in character stuff.
And you took the signs.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
that's
try.
wonderful.
I don't try to audition for things that are not going to that really won't fit me. I don't try to go out of my way. Like I don't want to jam my huge foot into a tiny shoe. So I'm big and loud. So I try to be big and loud for video games. Commercials are more nuanced, and that's the skill. So
Right. Yeah, wow. I mean, I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous.
No, not at all. I want everyone to have success.
Absolutely.
that's
Absolutely.
the big thing about it, though, right? It's also about like the people that you surround yourself with. Success. I think they said, "What success breeds success," right?
Yes.
I want to be around successful people, but I want the people that I want to be around to also be successful, right? Because it's reciprocal. So if I have a gig and I'm able to put people in it, I try to put people in it because that's how this all works for everybody. Because what rising tide raises all boats.
Absolutely.
So it's not that like, oh, let me just nepotism everybody in there. I know talented actors that I know could fit certain roles, and if I can help them, get a role, or if they're looking for somebody, hey, I know a guy. That's a lot of how the industry works. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
especially in Poland, apparently a lot of the games that I've worked for, Polish studios, they're like, hey, find me a person. Sure.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, how do we get on the Mike Cunningham roster?
You were certainly on it already.
That was blatant. Hey, how can we ride your coattails, Mike?
Right.
I need to ride some coattails in it. Yeah. The only reason we had you on here. No.
No, it's
I do have a particularly large project that's happening right now that I can't really talk about, but if and when the opportunity arises, I will let you know.
Heck yeah, man.
all right. We're in. You already have my yes, man.
I feel like I'm not too pushy about that sort of thing. I totally appreciate it. Even you saying that is super nice because you do have a big, awesome group of people that you hang out with all the time. So it makes sense that you pull from really talented, and also just cool to hang out with people that you like.
I'm so fortunate in that way. Like the friends that I've made doing this, I look at it like Terry Briscoe. That guy, I love that guy.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
And we've been to enough things together. He's my roommate when we go to conferences or wherever these trips and stuff are. I hang out with that guy multiple times a year now, but just in person. So it kind of went beyond of, oh, you're weird computer friends. My wife would give me a hard time, and I'm like, no, these are like professional colleagues. These are my actual friends now, and some of the friendships I've made, with Kat and Larry, and just with Tim, Jim, Frank. So there are really, really good people that are thankfully around me. Don't know what I did to do that. Like Shell Reel and Sam Malik, all these really wonderful folks. I feel really fortunate for that.
Yeah, and it's, I'll echo that because, we've kind of been able to somehow fall in with a lot of the same crowd through projects like Shoestring TV. Again, like just the fact that it was, I've said it before, I fell in with Tim and with Larry and with Kat and Sean, at the conference at One Voice. And then, through that kind of got pulled into... or actually, I got pulled in by Mitch to Shoestring, and discovered that like a lot of those, Frank and Briscoe and you and other people were involved in that, and I'm like, wow, hi, yeah, well, I must be doing something right because we're meeting the same people and we're not in the same, It's like Mitch and I knew each other through GVAA.
Yeah.
But we're running into the same people in different avenues, and so I'm like, all right, that's got to be a good sign because we're hooking ourselves up with a good group of folks. So
I
Better
think
there's only 14 voice actors.
Well, yeah, really. You think about
why am
it,
I not getting more jobs if there's only 14 of us?
It's a smaller industry than we think. There's thousands of people that like, I'm a voice actor or I want to be a voice actor, but they don't actually do anything, right? Or they don't try. And so, like, if you're consistently trying, consistently around, making the effort to do this, you already got a leg up over most people, especially in situations like that where you're like, oh, wait, I'm in this project and suddenly I know 6 or 7 of the same people that are in here. Well, there's a reason for that, is because you're successful at being involved at this point. And, I would imagine you're going to find that a lot more as we go along. And we're all fortunate for that because we're all fairly, I mean, like in the grand scheme of things, we're all still new. It's
a lot of people. I'm finding that too, where you've got your veterans like Tim, you got your people who have been in the industry for a long time, and then to find out like we're a COVID baby. Frank was it's like he has a personification that it's like, oh, this guy's been doing this forever. Yeah, no,
Jim's
3 years.
A marketing master.
When I found out
it is,
in 3 years, I'm like, what? I mean, granted, he's got a radio background, but at the same time, still just doing voiceover for 3 years. Right. It just seems like he's been doing it for so much longer.
He was in radio for a really long time. Yeah. I mean, he knows how to get it done.
And if you ask him how to do something, he'll go, "Yeah, I know how to do that." He's not gonna.
He's got a lot of confidence. Yeah.
He sure does. Yeah. He sure does. I wish I had. I wish you could shave off a little and
give me some of that. Pass a little of that confidence around. Some of us will maybe
pass the confidence,
have imposter syndrome. Go ahead.
About the confidence thing, I think I heard a quote, and I actually just told it, I think, to Terry the other day. Everything is much more stupid than you think it is. And when you realize that, it's really not that hard to do a whole lot of the things that you don't think that you can do. Because a lot of the people that are out there that are successful, I mean, if you get to know them or you know them, you're like, wait a minute here. What's going on? This person can barely tie their shoes. How are they? You're a competent human being. You can do these things. So the confidence is important. I mean, we're thinking, intelligent, capable adults. So we can do this stuff.
Yeah,
that's an interesting.
That's good advice. Just
thought.
Consider everybody else stupid.
Yeah. Not that everybody's stupid, just that all the kind of
as
things
dumb as I am. How about that?
Outside of our influence and outside of our, this is this big complicated scenario. Oh my gosh, there's no possible way that I could ever impact it. Well, wait a minute here. I decided on a whim that I was going to become a voice actor, and then now I'm on Xbox. Right. How the hell did that happen? I don't know. I just wanted to do it. So
you did the thing.
Right? So if you want it, you go after it. You can do it.
Yeah.
Yes. That's that tenacity and that knowledge of doing. I mean, you've done a lot. We kind of brushed past your military background a little bit. That's pretty big, I think, what you went through there. And the next thing you want to do, I'm sure, IT is not easy. And I don't want to fucking do it, by the way.
I know.
Well, and I mean, just to plug the Microphone Insider, I know, Mike is involved with Jim Frank and Rebecca, and that whole, and Terry, putting on the Microphone Insider podcast. If you've never listened or watched that, please do so. Find them. It's a good quality product with even better guests than we have. No offense, Mike.
Well, I'm not on the JMC level. We got him coming up this week.
When you got JMC and Kristen Paiva coming out to do your your podcast. Yeah, you're doing something right.
You should go listen to that Tina Maraska one that we did a week and a half ago. There's a lot of really good information on there. That was a really good show.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that one yet, but I'll give that a listen pretty quickly. But
yeah.
On that podcast, Mike is the technology guru. So it's interesting. You come on and you shill certain products that you've come across and that can benefit voiceover actors, whether it be physical equipment or plugins or everything. So is that just a product of you having that background, or I mean, I'm assuming you actually just kind of look for that kind of thing?
It's literally me looking for things, finding deals, stuff that I actually use and like. I've got a fairly sophisticated setup in here, and so that and if it doesn't work, I don't use it. So if I can help people find certain things that I know personally work really well, that are going to be a decent deal. I don't like. I think a founding principle that I always had, my dad said, if you're going to get what you pay for. So I don't like to buy cheap junk, but if I can find good stuff that is not necessarily expensive, absolutely, I go for that.
Yeah.
And just software, things like that. If we can find sales on things, staples that people use, heck yeah, 100%. Or just information, like with Source Connect. I'm still waiting on Source Connect 4. I had bought the full license for it, and they supposedly sent me a beta test for it.
I think I got an email about it.
It didn't work for me when I tried to get it to go. So I was like, whatever, we'll wait for that. But I have been looking into that, just information on that kind of stuff. That will be, when they finally do that, is going to be a pretty powerful thing for people. Yeah.
I wish I had that. Now you have confidence and you have the want for knowledge. It's like, what's going on? Can I have those things?
Wait, what is this? Doing a job that I actually enjoy? I don't understand.
What the hell is that all about? Yeah. That's
it's
super
a good
exciting.
time.
So you're connected with TMI. You are the guru. And now something else has come up that I'm blown away by, which is get out of your booth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that.
Tell me
Mike's
a lot
putting on
about
a
this.
conference.
A conference?
Well, originally it wasn't going to be a conference, but all right. Have you guys, you're aware, have been to Uncle Roy, a gentleman from New Jersey?
Roy Yokelson, yeah.
We know
Roy
it
Yokelson.
exists.
I've been going
I
to
met
that.
Roy at one voice briefly.
Roy is quality human.
Nice.
He does an event every year in New Jersey, not too far from me, about an hour, 10 minutes or hour from me, where he just has people from all over the industry come and hang out in his yard, like 150, 200 people sometimes, and it's a barbecue for a couple of days. And there's no business, there's no nothing, but everybody comes out. It's fairly easy to get to, reasonably, and it's a great time. Gets a hotel, we just drink and eat. It's wonderful. I get to see a lot of people. And I was like, you know what? There's nothing else like that around here. There's nothing in the Northeast other than perhaps Nevo up in Massachusetts and Mavo down over in D.C. But Philly and New York and whatnot, they have little events, but there's no like Uncle Roy's style event other than Uncle Roy's.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, well, why not? Why can't we have that? Why not? Why don't we just do that? So locally here, I'm the vice president of a fraternal organization called the National. For us, it's called the National Sokals, but we're National Sokals Bethlehem Lodge 93. It's like 100 and some odd year old building. We've got 6 bowling lanes. It was an old ethnic club for Czechoslovakian folks.
Oh wow!
The Sokals were like a paramilitary organization that kind of came over early 19th century. They did calisthenics and stuff about mind and body health things. Really cool. And but it was there were a million different ethnic clubs. So I live here in Bethlehem. So Bethlehem had a whole bunch of different ethnic minority groups because we had the Bethlehem steel plant here. And every group had their own little social club. So you've got the Puerto Rican club, you've got the Portuguese club, you've got the Czech club, you've got the Catholic club, you've got the, all around. Pretty much all of them are gone, except for us. Because we took it over and we said, well, I don't want this to go away. I want a place to go that we can kind of hang out in town here. And so my friends and I in town took it over in 2011, and we've just been kind of maintaining it. So now it's a large social club rather than, obviously there's no ethnic component to it now. Everybody's welcome.
Yeah,
And
Cunningham, the Czech name of Cunningham.
Oh, yeah. Actually, there's a lot of... We'll talk about all my heritage after the podcast.
Okay, all right.
So there's a hall upstairs, and we don't run the club for any kind of profit. We just literally run it to make it exist. I said to myself, well, we do like professional wrestling here. We do concerts here. So I could put a conference in here. Why not? I could fit 100 people in this room. That's easy. And I said, well, why the hell not? So I got a hold of Jen Tafoni. She's from the Booth Besties. That's another podcast that was running for a while. She lives about 15 minutes away from me. I said, hey, Jen, we've never hung out before. Why don't you come over here to the club? Let's take a look at something. I want to get your opinion. We went over and looked. She goes, I think we could do this. So I said, sure. I'm not paying anybody anything. We're not doing this for money. She's like, I think that's a great idea because it's not about that. So I donated the hall. I'm donating a little bit out of my own pocket for some things, but the club's gonna essentially act as our gatekeeper for the whole event. We reached out to some speakers, some folks that we know, to give them a chance to kind of put them in a position to speak. That they have specific expertise. Some folks that are that became interested and are going to be coming that are well beyond what I was expecting to have happen are now going to show up to speak. So we're doing from Friday through Sunday, full lineup. There's no extra charges. There's no extra anything.
So there's no in-the-door charge.
Well, it's $200 for the whole weekend.
Okay.
Because
that's covering costs.
It's not right. That's covering costs just for us to do it because this is crazy.
I couldn't imagine not paying. That's
it gets once I explain to you what we're doing. Friday is we're going to start. We're going to have the little welcome, maybe a session, a panel, or a couple sessions of panels. Then there is a Friday social night. Drinks and snacks are included for everybody.
Wow.
Saturday we come in. We're including water, tea, coffee, and all that other stuff like that. Lunch is included. Sessions all day long. Bowling is included all day long. Same thing for Sunday. We're doing a party on Saturday night up in the upstairs. Everything's extremely kind of cheap. We've got a block of rooms that are already blocked off at the Wing Creek Casino, which is a really big casino here in town. Really beautiful hotel. There's costs associated with making it happen, but they're so low to the point where we're literally only running this to make it work. So we're helping kind of subsidize some of the rooms for the speakers because they're not being paid. Jen and I aren't taking a dime out of it. Whatever we've got left over, if there's money laying around, I'm using that towards scholarships and prizes.
Wow.
So we're not looking. The whole point of this is that there's a whole lot of people out there, especially in this area, that don't have any access or ability to meet anybody else that does this in any kind of meaningful way. Certainly not in a conference way. Now, obviously, this is not VO Atlanta. I'm going to VO Atlanta. This is a great opportunity.
Right. I'll see you there.
Mavo. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be awesome.
Be there.
The other conferences are awesome because it's high-end stuff that you're doing. You're doing seriously intensive work. But, for people that maybe want to get into voice acting or are kind of new or just want to meet some people and they don't have the money to be able to fly out there or pay for those kind of tickets and things like that, $200 flat, and that's it. And you can do whatever. I've got a panel. Well, it's on a panel. I've got a workshop that's going on with Peter Rain. He built his whole studio from soup to nuts just on his own, manufactured his own paneling, but had a professional audio engineer set up the design for it and explain to him the acoustics, everything. So he's going to help us. I got 25 that I'm setting up, part of, what ticket costs or whatever. To build your own panel, either a 2x4 or a 3x4 sound absorption panel, and just take it home. It's not going to cost anybody anything extra. So if you sign up for that, you buy a ticket, you can sign up for that workshop and do that. It's cool. I'm really excited about it because and thank God for Jen Tafoni, because I am not nearly as organized as I need to be, and she is kicking ass with the branding and just all of the administrative work that needs to happen for this thing, and she is a godsend. But
pitch it one more time. Where can people find out information about this?
It's getoutofyourbooth.com. So it's outa with 2 T's. It's and we actually have a Facebook group as well. If you just look up "Get Out of Your Booth," there's more information coming out now. We have a little bit on the website as it stands. There's some of the list of the speakers, but we'll be putting out a little bit more of the particular schedules and things like that. A little bit of that's still subject to change, but we have a rough outline for it. Everything's kind of fallen into place, which I'm really excited about.
Awesome.
That's wild. Hey,
and when is it again?
It's going to be June 27th to June 29th.
June 27th, June 29th.
It's a beautiful.
And I realize that there's the thing happening in Canada. They're doing a camping thing that Uncle Roy won't be able to make it to our thing because he already committed. He was very upset. But I did not know that Deborah Monroe was running her thing that day. But there's going to be a lot to like, I think, and a lot of really, really good people there.
Sounds like it, and you'll only build upon that, right?
Yep, and we've gotten some serious donations from folks already.
That's amazing.
Like in terms of prizes and things like that, it's awesome. It's
cool.
really awesome. So I'm excited. I think we're gonna just as a gift to the people around us, and maybe just as a way to kick it off more here in the Lehigh Valley. I'm very excited to see it all happen.
We're excited. I mean, it's absolutely insane. You said 3 years in. Well, now you're five-ish years in, right?
Oh no! I just hit 3 years.
Okay.
Really at the turn of the new year.
So you're 3 years in, and a conference falls into place. Something's going. Somebody's looking out for you, buddy boy.
Jeez,
I hate to say, and you somehow have more hours in the day than I do, because I can't imagine having a full-time day job, a dang near full-time VO job, and running a conference.
And
wife can't
running
believe it
a meeting hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
the man of many
I'm not
talents.
the only person involved there. We have a whole team of people that are involved in that, and so I used to be a little bit more hands-on with it than I used to be, but than I am now. But still dealing with administrative stuff there, and I'm going to actually use it as an impetus to make sure that we get that place nice and cleaned up. So
that works.
All around.
there's a couple tertiary benefits for us at the club. But the club's a nonprofit as well. Just in case anybody was wondering, there's not a single person involved in this, either be the club, myself, Jen, or anybody else, or any of the speakers that is like coming here making a profit. And that's the only reason that it's happening, because I recognize like these things are not cheap. And it is really hard to even get a space, let alone make any money on it, let alone develop it to the point where people are going to want to show up. So, hopefully, we'll have enough folks that want to do it. I mean, we're going to do it anyway, so if you don't show up, it's fine. But it's those people are going to get a really good time.
A little too far for me, but yeah, good luck with that. Hey, I know we only have you for a little bit, a short amount of time left, so. Mitch, I'm sure you have your final question for the man.
Yes.
Sure.
Is there any? I'm gonna change the question a little bit now. Are there any new people, newbies in the world that you've come across that you're like, hey, keep an eye out for this person?
Ooh, I know
one or two.
Steve Ward.
Yeah,
Steve Ward. I've known him for a little while now, and he has been like methodically plotting out all of this stuff. That guy has a serious work ethic, and he is determined.
Yeah, I've met him a couple of times in your little Friday get-togethers, Mike, and he's like, he hasn't even hung up his shingle yet. He hasn't even gone live yet, but he is doing the work to try to do this right. And,
you'll have to hook us up, buddy.
Yeah, he's bilingual. Like
nice.
I mean, that guy has a lot going well for him, and I'm excited to see. He's got a lot of demos that he's putting out, setting up right now. A lot of talent to back it up. He's spent a lot of time talking to a lot of really good people. And so I'm very excited to see what he's going to do.
We're excited. Can't wait to talk to him. Thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my last question. I'm just feeling like I haven't acted since like afternoon.
It gets.
I haven't done any acting.
It gets the itch.
I get an acting itch. So if you guys would stop talking and let me do that.
Let's do it. All right, Mike, as we mentioned to you, we're gonna. Yeah, Mike's like, "What's going on?" It's the thing we talked about before we started recording, Mike. We're gonna do the ChatGPT roulette. Here we go. We're gonna pause. Be back in a second. Lickety split. Ba boom. All right. We got a doozy for you. A doozy. We're gonna get right into it because it's just so fantastic. Fun. Let's go.
All right. I'm gonna set the scene. Lenny stands in the produce section inspecting some wilted lettuce. Mrs. Millicent slowly approaches, holding a basket with a few apples in it. The intercom crackles occasionally, offering strange announcements.
This stuff's been out too long. I swear they think I'm just here to babysit the shelves. It's freaking unbelievable.
Oh, excuse me, young man, Lenny, right? These apples, are they the ones that don't make you gassy? My doctor says I should avoid those, the ones that make me gassy. Those ones, they make me gassy, I shouldn't have those.
Yeah, Mrs. Millicent. Those are just the regular apples. Not gonna make you gassy.
Oh, good.
What you really want to avoid is, well, you know, anything that isn't fresh. I don't like this lettuce. Look at this. This is gonna make everyone gassy. Okay.
Oh, gassy? Oh, I don't like things that make me gassy, Lenny. Oh, dear. I hope you don't mean my cabbage. Oh, I've got to have my cabbage. But last time I had that, I didn't sleep for a week because it just...
No. The lettuce, Mrs. Millicent, right here. The lettuce is old. Look, this is why I can't stand working in this department anymore. I don't even get the right apples delivered, let alone...
Attention, shoppers. Due to unforeseen circumstances, all cucumbers are now 25% more. Interesting. Please proceed with caution.
What the hell?
Oh my, Lenny. I don't know what's so interesting about cucumbers, but I'll take 2. Maybe they'll cure my backaches, You think?
No, Mrs. Millicent. Jeez, forget the cucumbers, all right?
No.
This lettuce here, right here, this lettuce, this big old piece right here, it's been sitting here for hours. It's wilting. It's going bad. You shouldn't even be looking at this, okay?
Well, I like lettuce a little, crispy, don't you? I mean, it adds a little zest to a salad, you know what I say?
Attention, please be aware. The oranges have joined forces with the grapefruits.
What?
They're now in a tangy mood. Approach with caution.
Tangy.
Oh, Lenny, that's just the sweetest thing I've heard all day. Oranges in a mood, you say? Oh, my husband always said fruit was full of personality.
You know what? Forget the fruit. I am in a mood. The whole store is falling apart. No one's getting me the right deliveries. The produce looks like it's been here since last freaking Tuesday. I can't even take a step without walking into somebody spewing their stupid coupons all over the place. And you're here talking to me about gas? I can't handle it.
You said Tuesday? Oh, I can't be eating anything from Tuesday. It was my sister's birthday, and we had lasagna that day. Maybe a little too much lasagna now that I think about it. Sorry.
That's rancid. No, Mrs. Millicent, no more freaking lasagna, just fresh produce. We are in the produce section.
Attention, all bananas have been classified as mellow yellow. Please be aware they may be unreasonably calm.
What the hell is happening around here? Oh, God, seriously? What is this place? I don't
Just
understand.
a reminder, the carrots are currently in a midlife crisis and may be feeling existential. Please be patient with them.
I might be as well be a fucking carrot.
Oh, Lenny, I think I'll just take some of those bananas. They sound charming, don't they?
Fine, whatever. Just get what you want, Mrs. Millicent. Just listen to me. Listen, look, eyes. Look, just don't take the lettuce, okay? Please.
Oh, I'm sure it's all very fine. I'll just have the bananas and maybe some of those apples, the ones that won't make me gassy, though.
Jesus Christ.
And a little of that lettuce for zest,
What?
of course.
Zest. Zest, you say? You want zest?
Yeah.
This is why I can't stand this job anymore. You know?
A reminder, all produce is currently emotionally unstable. Approach with care.
Oh, Lenny, you're so funny. You really should have a snack. You know, you look like you're ready to burst. Kind of like a tomato, you know, that just, and they blow all over the place. Oh, I love tomatoes. Don't you love tomatoes? You cut them up and slice them and put a little salt on them and put them on a piece of Melba toast with some avocado. Oh, it's just delicious.
Yeah, sure. Why? Sure. Yeah, why not? Sure. Tomatoes. Great. Right? Awesome. Super wonderful. I'm done.
Oh, Lenny, don't go. You got to get me those tomatoes, okay?
Someone, dear God. Anyone. Please, God. Honest to, I really try to be. I know I'm not a good man, but please, God, just get me out of here.
Beano on aisle 2.
Lenny.
Oh my gosh.
Wow,
Ridiculous.
that went places. All right.
So weird.
I don't think I've cracked up
That's like
so
nothing
much.
you will ever get in an actual audition.
No,
But,
I have to
was
say,
fun.
Mike, before we go, I think your grandma character is my favorite of yours yet.
very good.
I love
It was
her.
very good. I like it.
Yeah, that was the juxtaposition between Mike bursting a vein in his neck
Yeah.
and me just like,
Okay.
I wish I had my monitor on. I would tell you what my heart rate is right now. Because let's go it. I'm gonna get it. Blood pressure's going up.
For people just listening, the big part where he really explodes was mostly ad lib. Coming into Mike's. So, what about lettuce or whatever? It's just like so perfect, you guys. You did awesome, and I love it. Thank you.
all right, yeah,
Thank you
good
very
fun.
much for
Hey,
having me.
Mike, great fun to have you. Look forward to playing D&D with you more because we in
Hell
the
yeah.
D&D group and all the things that Mitch loves. But yeah, hey, good luck with everything, man, and continued success to you. Thanks
Awesome.
again for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me, guys. Can't wait to work out with you more.
All right, bye. Y'all.
Take it easy.
Yep.